Hello, settlers!
Welcome back to our new episode. In this episode, we are going to talk about becoming a good public speaker.
Speaking. Oh, speaking. Becoming good
Because
at
I said
public speaking.
a good public speaker or becoming good at public speaking. All right. So we're going to share with you our tips on how to tackle your nervousness when you speak in front of public. And also we'll let you know what you should and shouldn't do in front of a lot of people.
Yes,
All
but
right.
before that, let's talk about the vocab of the week, shall we?
Sure. The vocab is courage. The word is on the screen. Okay. Courage.
Yes.
Courage for our podcast listeners. It's Courage. Courage. That is a noun.
That's right.
Courage basically means it is our ability to do something that usually frightens us, but we are brave enough to do that.
Yep. So, for example, Gio doesn't have the courage to speak in front of 1,000 people.
Of course I don't, because that's too easy for me. I don't need courage to speak in front of 1,000 people.
I see. That's amazing, Gio. That's amazing. Let's listen from Gio, guys. How to prepare yourself before you do public speaking.
Okay.
Prepare yourself before you do public speaking.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's definitely practice. I am a perfectionist. I think even Kiki is aware of this, yeah? I am a perfectionist. I want everything to be completely flawless. So practice is number one.
And the next one is to transfer nervous energy into enthusiasm. So it's normal that you feel nervous before you start a presentation, but you can actually do that by acknowledging the nervousness. You will be able to transfer that into an enthusiasm feeling. So it will actually affect your audience.
Of course. Third suggestion that we have is for you to arrive early. It may sound like logical, right? We often want to we want to arrive early to prepare and everything, but it also will help you emotionally because it will help you calm down. It helps you prepare yourself, and you can even practice again last minute before you actually go in front of the public.
Yes, you even, you can even meet the audiences and talk to them, and get to know them a little bit. So there's a lot of advantage in arriving early.
Yep, of course. And then the next is to adjust to your surroundings. So especially if you arrive early, you can definitely do this. So you adapt to your surroundings. You make sure, okay, the room is very big. Then I will want to walk from A to B. Or if it's just one spot, like maybe in TEDx talks, they usually only allow you to stand in one spot. Then make sure that you adapt to that as well.
That's true.
Not to mention if your audience are children, perhaps, then you want to use voices for children, like "Hello, how are you?" Is that the voice of children?
Okay. Well, that's actually a good example when you have to adjust to your surroundings before you start your presentation. Okay. And the next one is to use positive visualization. So this means that you need to imagine that everyone will be very happy to see you in front of everyone. I mean, to see you on stage, basically. And by having that positive visualization, you're able to give a positive outcome as well when you're delivering your speach.
All right. So to recap a little bit about what we have discussed, first is to practice, latihan. Latihan. Yang kedua, transform nervous energy into enthusiasm. Jangan gugup di apa namanya, Ki?
Tuh kan, kalau ngomong bahasa Indonesia gini.
Di transfer diubah menjadi
ya kan?
diubah menjadi ditransfer pakai kegugupannya diubah menjadi something yang enthusiastic. Apa tuh?
Enthusiastic itu yang yang bikin
menyenangkan,
menjadi semangat.
There you go. Number 3, arrive early, datang lebih awal. Number 4, adjust your surroundings. Ini kan jadi latihan bahasa Indonesia. Adjust your surroundings, beradaptasi dengan sekitarnya ya. Okay. Number 5 is to use positive visualization. Basically, jangan burik lah ya, nggak boleh burik. Harus menjadi paling tampan dan paling cantik di depan orang umum.
Yes, good job. Okay. Now let's talk about common mistakes people make when giving a speech. Now this is pretty common, yet people overlooked it. Jarang diperhatikan gitu loh. Jadi ini adalah kesalahan yang cukup sering dilakukan ya. Jadi the first thing is not tailoring your message to your audience. Artinya kita tidak
menyesuaikan. Gitu,
Tailor ya kan,
dijahit ya Miss ya, atau gimana?
Gitu ya. Oke, jadi kalau kita mau bawa presentasi, kita harus tahu dulu audiensnya. Jadi segmentasinya apa, gitu, biar tepat sasaran, ya kan?
Asik, bahasanya Miss Kiki mantap sekali ya. Basically it's to personalize your content to your audience. It's similar to adjusting to your surroundings ya. Kalau memang audiensnya anak kecil ya ngomongnya kayak anak kecil. Gak mungkin kan kita ngomongin quantum physics dengan anak TK. Pusing mereka ya.
That's right, betul banget. Jadi selalu pastikan you know your audience. Okay. Next is to always have an eye dart. Nah, di sini ada kata eye dart, artinya tahu dart kan yang mainan yang dilempar-lempar gitu, yang ada bola.
Kelereng. Bukannya gundu. Eye dart. What is eye dart? Ya dart ya itulah. Yang dilempar-lempar itu ya.
Lu lempar apa sih semacam panah kecil itu terus dilempar sampai.
What is that? Okay, basically that. So you want to actually look into your audience eyes, at least one of them, or maybe you want to look at a couple of them. Don't just look at their nose or look at their point. That's what we usually say to. That's what we usually hear ya to people. Ya, gak gitu juga sih Ki. Itu terlalu umum ya kalau gitu ya Ki ya.
Ya betul. Jadi biasanya juga bisa dilihat di dahinya mereka. Jadi seolah-olah kita melihat matanya. Dan durasinya kira-kira 2-3 detik. Jadi kita melihat ke mereka tuh tidak ngawang gitu, nggak ngawang-ngawang, ya kan?
Right. So we actually pay attention. So as if we are actually paying attention, although maybe we are actually, oh my God, I have still so many things to talk about. Okay. And then third is to avoid distracting mannerisms, which means basically that you want to behave yourself. Sometimes when we are nervous in front of public, we do a lot of stupid things that we never realize. Maybe your hands move a lot like this, and then it distracts the people. Or maybe you blink all the time. I don't know. So you want to avoid these things. It takes practice to be aware. That is why a lot of people suggest to practice in front of a mirror.
Yes, that's right. So in order to get the audience attention as well, you know that when it comes to what do you call? Pesan pertama begitu menggoda ya.
Oh, asik.
What is first impression matters, right? Nah, itu maksudnya. Jadi kita kalau baru masuk ke stage itu jangan tunjukin energi yang lemah or low energy. Gitu. Jadi yang tadi rasa gugup itu kan kita harus ubah menjadi rasa semangat, ya kan? Spirited kind of energy gitu. Nah, itu yang harus ditunjukin waktu pertama kali kita muncul di depan audience.
Yes, and make sure that you maintain that energy. Don't be so high energy in the beginning, but suddenly you dwindle down. And then at the end of the presentation, it's like, this is so boring.
That's right. Nah, selain itu, bukan cuma energi aja ya, tapi juga kayak cara kita our facial expression, terus suaranya tadi yang kata Gio bilang, terus sama gesture. Gimana kita bisa mengendalikan anggota tubuh kita pada saat mendeliver message atau presentasi.
This is already chaotic English and bahasa Indonesia ya.
Anak Jakarta Selatan ya.
Okay, and then the last thing that we have for you is to avoid reading from your slides. So remember, the name of the software is PowerPoint. Yeah, so points. So these are only points. So you do not want to read it off your slides. So you want to make sure that only the headlines are in the slides. Yeah, much of the speaking should come from you yourself. So that is why you need to practice, make sure that you know what you are talking about. You have to master the topic, and then you'll be able to explain the headlines of the slide. If you want to look at the slides, that's perfectly fine. But again, because those are only headlines, karena cuma headline hanya poin-poinnya aja, kan nanti akan membantu kita untuk, oh iya, ini nih yang mau dibicarakan.
Ngingetin ya,
iya.
Yang mau dibawa. Biar sistematis juga. Okay.
True.
So,
all right.
Gue mau nanya dulu ya. Do you suffer from glossophobia? Do you know what glossophobia is?
I actually know what this is because I have taught public speaking in one of our classes.
Of course.
So it's actually it means the fear of the tongue. Basically, it means you have a fear of public speaking.
Right, jadi takut ya kalau ngomong di depan banyak orang gitu ya, ketakutan, rasa takut itu. So you don't suffer that for sure. Yeah?
No, I don't. I don't think teachers have glossophobia in general.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I do.
Yeah, but settlers, you have to remember there's a difference between glossophobia and nervousness. Yeah, nervousness I think is very normal, very common, but glossophobia, it's a phobia, benar-benar takut. Yeah. Okay, now let's walk the walk. Let's walk the walk.
Let's go.
So, Kiki, you have 1 minute to prepare a short speech about parenthood.
Right. Okay. So, are you going to time me on this?
Yes, I will time you. I will give you 10 seconds to prepare. Yeah, 10 seconds starts from now.
Oh dear Lord. Okay. Okay. Now I'm nervous, but I'm going to turn that into
okay, your time's
enthusiasm.
Up. Please.
Okay. So, hi everyone, I'm Kiki, and today I will be telling you a little bit about parenthood as my topic of the day. So, for me, parenthood is, I would say, it's a lifetime commitment. Once you have a child, your life, your energy, your attention, and your priority will change, definitely. I mean, all you can think of is to have your kids to get better things than what you had when you were a kid, basically. So you just want to give the best for them. And it's a normal thing. However, as a parent, you should be able to be a little bit disciplined and strict to your kids as well. Otherwise, they're going to become spoiled and all. So it is quite tricky. You have to find that balance as a parent. And of course, it will require you and your partner to work together. And that's it. Is it? Okay. Well, that's all from me, guys. Thank you for listening. Yay.
Best speaker ever.
Oh my gosh.
With Kiki.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Okay. So,
okay.
Gio,
that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't get away. You can't get away. You have 1 minute now.
Okay.
To talk about architecture.
Ooh, tricky. Okay, architecture. What am I going to talk about? Talk about that.
Time's up.
Oh, what? that was not 10 seconds. Okay, but as I said in the beginning, public speaking is easy lah for me, yeah?
I know, right? Vanity, snobbish, all in.
Okay, well, welcome back again to what? What is this?
Gio show.
To Gio's show. Yes. So welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about architecture, one of my favorite topics for today. So, not for today, one of my favorite topics in general. So basically, architecture, when we talk about it, people often relate architecture with designs of buildings, right? But did you know that architecture is so much more than just design? Architecture is actually about the experience. So how you experience a structure, how you experience space, actually. So for example, if you go on a picnic, we usually lay down a piece of cloth. That creates a small space in a field of green. That's actually part of architecture. Or if you go to a church or a mosque, where the ceilings are usually very high and it's very big, it's very grand, that is also architecture. It gives you a sense of God in it. So there's like a holiness, there's majestic and mightiness of God. That is why religious buildings are usually very tall and very majestic. So that's architecture. So architecture in general is about user experience. It's not much about design, but it's about the experience of humans interacting inside the building.
Whoa!
Whoa! Thank you very much. Please subscribe.
Amazing, Gina! Wow, I learned something new today about architecture.
There you go.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, guys. So I hope you learned something from today's topic.
Hopefully.
We have a question for you. So, how do you handle nervousness, or maybe if you have a phobia of speaking in front of public or glossophobia, how do you handle that? So, share it with us through your comments. By
She has no idea what she's talking about now.
By writing us on Instagram.
Write down your answers in the comments, Instagram at English Today, or on our YouTube channel, English Today Indonesia, or on our TikTok, English Today as well.
Yay! All right. So that's it for now, Statlers. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching as well. We'll see you again.
Until next time.
Next episode.
Bye.